Welcome today to day and episode number 4, I should say, in December, or at this idea of Insights at the Lighthouse. I'm standing right at the gift shop, which is closed, and down here you have the hotel. Let's see. You can't see anything. There you go. That's the hotel, and beyond it is the lighthouse. So I am down here. That's why I'm calling this. But this is about what can happen if you surrender, or when you surrender. This is not an absolute, because that's where I think that our control is being let go of. But there's been 2 episodes, probably more when I think about it, but there's definitely been 2 that I know of that was within a week of each other on my trip. It was my last day in Belgium and my, what was that? I think a week into France. So it was 2 Sundays. And Sundays have been very bad bad days to walk, because nothing is open. There's no stores open, nothing is open. So if you don't have any food with you or whatever, and haven't found a place to stay, you are in trouble. On this the first one, that was my last night in Belgium. And I walked up to a mountaintop, or a mountain village, and as I walked through the town, up until that point I've been looking for campsites, I've been looking for places to stay, and eventually I was like, okay, I'm just gonna walk to the town, there's probably something there. And when that happens, sometimes when you do that, yeah, you will be disappointed. Even though there was a store open until 7 o'clock, so maybe it was a Saturday. It could have been a Saturday. I think it was a Sunday, I'm pretty sure it was a Sunday. But I walked past the store into the town, and I walked on because I just wanted to have a look and get a feel for what was there and see if I could stay somewhere. So I went down to what was the government building and sat down there for a little while. And by this time, the clock, or the time, was about 6:30 or something like that. And I walked and sat down and just checked up on things. And it was late in the day, so I needed to find a place because I needed to do some work and whatnot. I couldn't find a place to stay, first of all. I tried to look, there was nothing. So, okay, first things first, I need to get something to eat. That is important. So I went down to the store to get something to eat, some food for the night, because I knew I always had a tent with me. So in any case things happen, I could have stayed in a tent, or in my tent. So, but when I got down to the store, that was closed. It was just past 7 o'clock, and it had just closed. So that was a bummer. So I sat down on my backpack, and I started to do some work through my phone, internet. And I did that for a little while, and then it started to rain. And I sat underneath, an awning or whatever, and I didn't get wet initially, but I was on a sort of a downhill slope, so water came down, and I needed to move my backpack and so on. And then I needed to move because it started to get wet everywhere, so I couldn't sit down. So all I could do was to take my stuff and run. And I started to walk because I knew I could stay somewhere close by or whatever in my tent. But then I walked out, and then it really began to rain. It rained like crazy. And by then it started to get dark, just around that time, 7:30 or whatever, or 8. And I started to run because it was really pouring down. And then I tried to run down to the courthouse, or to that government building, because I saw that there was a big entry place, so you could probably sit under there and stay dry. But before I even got there, there was a bus stop, and I jumped in there to stay dry. So that was my only thing I could do. It started to get dark. It was wet. I had no real food. And no place to stay. And I, of course, tried to look for if there was other places around to stay or whatever. But there was nothing. There was nothing to do, nothing I could find. And it was interesting because if you see that video, I think it was day 49 and 50. No, that's not true. I'll put it under here anyway. But I sat there and I realized after an hour or something that there's nothing I can do. And as you see in the video, I recorded a video where I said this out loud to myself. I was sitting in the dark, it was wet, it was pouring down. I was in this bus stop, the only place that was dry. And it was cold and, or not, I mean, it was not particularly cold maybe, but it was not warm, you know. And right across from me, there was a guy who just, who, two friends or whatever, somebody dropped somebody off in the house across from me. And I looked over there and was like, you know, is this my my angel coming to save me, you know? Because before that, or in the video, I say, there is nothing I can do. I accepted the fact that there is nothing I could do. And the man over there, he saw me. I think he saw me either as he went in, or he saw me because he came out to have a smoke later or something. He just saw me. And then he waved me over the second time after he'd gone inside. And I tried to explain to him that I was a pilgrim and I couldn't find a place to stay. Then I realized, in my perspective, that, okay, he just wanted to know. He just wanted to know what I was doing there or something. So I just went back over to the bus stop and sat there. Then after a little while, he waved me over again and asked me to come inside and to sit down, and he gave me something to drink. Very nice guy. And I didn't really know what was going on, but he tried to explain to me that he showed me like a call signal, and he, you know, something about sleeping. So in some ways I felt safe, or felt like, okay, something is happening or whatever. And not long after, like within 15 minutes, 20 minutes, a guy came from the outside, or come from somewhere, and they had talked together. They obviously knew each other, and I was asked by him to go into his van, and I was then taken to his house, and got a meal with him and his wife. It was 10 at night or something, 10:30, and they gave me food to eat, and we talked over the translator because I can't speak French. So that was really special. But it was really interesting how that happened, because I just realized right then and there that I can do nothing, and I surrendered at that time. Not consciously, but I just accepted that I could do nothing. There was nothing I could do, and I guess that left a void or something for the help to come. I don't know, but that's how it happened, and that's also how it's being explained that it happens. You know, when you surrender, you know, things happen. When you surrender, life will look for what you need. You know, or the universe, or whatever the energy is. Some people call it God, or, you know, the universe, spiritual, divine, whatever. Doesn't matter. And the next day, I was alone in the house. They had gone to work, and you know, dropped their key off in the post box, and didn't see them. Or I saw the guy again down at the government building, because I needed a stamp. You know, he needed my stamp for the day. So that was interesting. And then the week after, I walked into this French town, and there was also a Sunday. I definitely know that was a Sunday, because I didn't remember nothing was open. And I was sort of like, I tried to get online at a supermarket place area, and tried to see if there was anything open like normal, you know. And it's just one of those times where, okay, one of those days again, you know. And I would probably beat myself up a bit, you know, just because it was a little annoying to re-experience that. But there was an older man who I saw, who had walked with his family, sort of from the right-hand side where I came from. And I was standing there with my backpack and whatnot, and he came over, and I saw him sort of out of my peripheral vision. I saw that he came closer.
And then he asked me if I was walking the Jacob's way in French. So Jacobi, that's what the name was in French. And I understood enough to, he asked into that. And then he said there was a pilgrim place that you could stay down this way. And you needed a code to get in. And then he had a code for some reason. Maybe he was part of the council of the city something. But he gave me the code, and then and there was also a time where I was like, okay, there's nothing I can do here. There's no place I can stay. There's nothing. I also accepted that just before he came. And it was just so interesting how it was a similar experience of, okay, I'm accepting that I can't do nothing. There's nothing I can do. There's people there's no place to stay. I need to walk further or find, whatever. But I already walked far that day. So it's just a re-experiencing that there was nothing I could do. There was nothing more I could do in this situation. So just kind of interesting how that happened again. And right when I had sort of accepted that, the answer came right away. So those two experiences was basically, and I was not conscious of, okay, I'm surrendering, but I just accepted the fact that there was nothing more I could do. And that's exactly when the help arrived. So that was just sort of, just to share that if you are in a situation where there's nothing you can do, just accept it. Just accept that there's nothing you can do. And then maybe the answer will arrive. I can't promise that, of course, but I think more often than not, it will. And if it doesn't come as people, it comes as ideas or other things, probably. And whether it comes like lessons, who knows. So that's it for the time being. Episode 4 is over, and I hope you will listen in to the next one. That's going to be on my birthday. Yes. So ciao for now.